Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. One new positive case of COVID-19 has been confirmed in the CNMI. Also tonight, the COVID-19 health tent is moving locations. We have the details. And one phone company is warning of spoof calls being made from local phone numbers. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour. So that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Half a day to Ruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, May 11th, 2020. The CNMI has one new positive case of COVID-19. The total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the CNMI is now at 16. The COVID-19 task force, along with CHCC, has announced one new individual that tested positive for the coronavirus over the weekend. The individual is a 67-year-old male resident of Guam that arrived on the United flight on Saturday, May 9th.
The confirmed case came in from the United flight, and we were able to transfer all the passengers from the airport down to PAC, and we also administered testing at PAC, and that particular confirmation and results unfortunately came out to be positive.
24 people arrived into the CNMI on Saturday's Guam to Saipan flight. Some had documentation stating they are COVID-19 negative, and some were tested when they got to PIC, the quarantine site for individuals when they enter the CNMI.
We're working everything that the resources that we have to go back to the passengers that were on that flight for contact tracing, and also making sure that we put them into close monitoring, into our SARA alert database, and of course with the protocol we will follow all the CDC guidelines on passengers on-flight monitoring and investigation, as well as testing them to make sure that we don't miss any of the passengers that are within the proximity of the particular confirmed case.
Community-based drive-through testing will resume tomorrow at the Saipan International Airport. Villagomez says the temporary suspension was needed to process these specimens that were already collected.
We had to make sure that we embed and have good quality control and quality assurance on our specimens that we collect, and getting back to the folks that were tested. So that was the need to kind of hold back and make sure that we regroup, as well as we will also be launching not a new website but an enhanced website for registration to ease up the community and have them register accordingly and precisely in regards to all the details that we would need to fill those fields on the site upon registration, so we don't miss any information coming from the person that's coming up for community-based testing.
As of today, May 11th, the CNMI has 12 recovered cases, 2 deaths, and 2,336 individuals that have been tested through the community-based drive-through initiative. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The CHCC COVID-19 health tent has been transferred to the Medical Care and Treatment Site, MCATS, at the CHCC upper level parking. The MCATS tent will be open Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for individuals experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, individuals that were identified through contact tracing, individuals who need to get clinical evaluation for work, and other COVID-19 functions. Parking is available at MCATS for patients.
We're maximizing the MCAT site, and it's been great. The site is self-sustainable to provide all the necessary care that we've been getting through the ER and as well as the old tent site. So it's I feel that area is much more controlled in environment-wise. It has the HVAC unit, it has UV lights in it, and of course the providers are much more happier to be in a controlled environment rather than outside an open environment.
Governor Ralph Torres is in the process of reopening government offices and operations. Take a listen.
All of our departments are pretty much opened up in a limited form. You will be sending out a full government resource listing of what is open. Right now I can tell you that the line departments are pretty much open at this point. Line departments being the executive departments, the departments that actually say department in their name. And then also the permitting agencies such as zoning office, commerce, finance. We're working on flexing out their schedule, but right now they're open and on a limited basis.
Currently, government employees are still receiving their 64-hour austerity pay.
We'll be putting out a directive, an austerity exemption, where all federal employees that are 100% covered by federal funds will receive their 100% federal funded salary. Just because they're federally funded. So these exemptions are going to be announced today. So this includes all federal programs with personnel that are 100% covered, personnel that are cost shared with federal funds, and critical services such as the Department of Public Safety, our Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services, Department of Corrections, our Department of Public Lands, since they're not funded by the general fund, and our Office of the Public Defender, since they're exempted from the austerity in order to meet constitutional mandates, as well as all employees under the COVID-19 Task Force, Homeland Security, Emergency Management, and our Medical Referral Office.
Bautista says he is working with the governor to schedule the next press briefing, which will be on the reopening of the economy.
We are working on a briefing schedule. The next briefing that we have projected would be on the unveiling of our Reopen the Marianas economy plan that our economic task force has been hard at work over the last couple of weeks since the Fiscal Response Summit. So, in a nutshell, and the governor and the economic task force can speak to this a little more in detail, but in a nutshell, our reopening plan for our economy will be centered on the way we do our community-based testing strategy. What this means is that if we hit a certain threshold in terms of a number of testing being done here in the CNMI, such as 5,000 have been tested, 10,000, 30,000 have been tested, and because we now have the capacity for it, and we're looking to increase testing capacity beyond 60,000, we intend to reopen our economy in a responsible way that's driven by science, that's driven by public health policy, so that we can protect not just government services and business owners and business employees, but as well as the customer.
Bautista says Governor Torres has not been giving press briefings on a daily basis due to his, quote, hands-on leadership.
The reason why the CNMI has its curve flat the way it is, and I'm sorry, as compared to Guam, where Guam is still seeing a spike in their cases, it's because the governor's proactive leadership is a very hands-on type of leadership, where he's in there in the trenches with our frontliners, working on the way we procure our test kits, our PPEs, all of the necessary medical equipment for our frontline and our medical workers, and is deep into those meetings with our federal partners, FEMA, HHS, DOD. They have meetings every single day. And yeah, we understand that there's a desire for certain outlets to have access in terms of getting a question and answer portion. But here's the thing. The biggest focus here is that if we're going to focus on public health as a priority, then we should be focusing on making sure that we can address that priority in the right way. Everything else comes second.
Those of you who use IT&E as your phone provider may be getting some calls from an unrecognized number recently. IT&E states do not answer or call the number back. The calls purported are coming from 670-783 prefixes and has a recorded message in Chinese. IT&E is warning customers to not give any personal or financial information to unknown callers. And don't answer any calls from blocked numbers either. IT&E is asking those who receive a call from that number to send a message or contact their customer care so they can notate your account. The IT&E customer care number is 670-682-4483. The Department of Finance has announced some illegal lottery gaming that has been occurring on social media. According to DOF, certain individuals have been organizing illegal lottery games using Facebook. A lottery is gambling in which players agree to pay something of value for a chance to win involving numbers. The winner is determined by a drawing or some other form of chance. Then the winner receives something of value. The Department of Finance is responsible for licensing of persons engaged in public lotteries and operations. DOF states it is illegal for any person or group to be engaged in lottery operations that is not authorized by the Department of Finance. Violators may be imprisoned for up to 5 years and/or fined $5,000. If you know of a group that may be hosting illegal gambling on social media, contact the Department of Finance at 664-1100 or the Attorney General's office at 237-7500. Coming up, Fiesta Resort is getting a new name and new management. We speak with the company filling that position after the break.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. I'm in love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Winigi PHI Pharmacy in Gofadahi Ihinim Lomo.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Nere eyor sumaye uhalweres ren, kutsu wayor safeye emal ebalisyu klalyamweres.
Inumin ang inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong parmasutiko.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. I'm in love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The Fiesta Resort Saipan is getting rebranded in 2022. KSPN speaks with the company taking over the new management. It's called IHG, Intercontinental Hotels Group, a hospitality company that owns over 6,000 name brand hotels across the world. And one of those hotels will soon be right here in Saipan.
As we all know, the world is on pause, and we know our guests are keen to get back to our hotels. And here we are at IHG, one of the leading hotel companies with over 6,000 hotels operating across iconic brands such as Intercontinental, Holiday Inn, and Crowne Plaza. We are, and we're very excited to announce the opening of the Crowne Plaza Resort at Saipan.
The agreement was signed last week between IHG and Asia Pacific Hotels Incorporated.
IHG would look to convert the hotel and operate the hotel as the Fiesta Resort Saipan for the interim period, which could be as early as later this month or as soon as we can get people into market. The hotel will then go through an extensive refurbishment before it rebrands as the Crowne Plaza over the course of the next 2 years. So late 2021 or early 2022, we see the hotel rebranding to Crowne Plaza.
The 416-room hotel will be getting an additional 116-room extension by 2025, making it the biggest conversion signing for IHG in the region of Australasia, Japan, and the Pacific Islands.
In line with the lease APHI EPL, part of that extension was a commitment to adding a 116-room wing to the hotel, which will happen around by 2025. And that wing will take on Crowne Plaza's latest iteration of room product and facilities. So it will enhance the resort to becoming a 535-room iconic resort in the middle of Garpan.
Catering to guests in the market's Saipan attracts of Korea, Japan, and China.
IHG's extensive presence in China, Japan, and Korea. In China, in fact, one of the largest international players in the market. And we're very familiar with the needs and requirements and of those guests coming into Saipan, and whether it's groups on golfing holidays or it's tour groups, will be with the Crowne Plaza branding, which is so familiar in each of those markets. We'll cater to all those segments to bring back guests into Saipan.
The new Crowne Plaza Resort Saipan will be transformed into their new global flagship strategy.
Crowne Plaza brand recently launched a strategy that's around flexible places and flexible room product to cater to the modern traveler. For example, the Crowne Plaza Workspace is a relook at the lobby to make sure that all components of the lobby are interactive and guest-facing. So whether it's integrating little nooks and work spots and places where guests can browse the internet or have a coffee at the same time. So it's essentially a modern take on how travelers are traveling.
Bringing a familiar international brand to the CNMI.
my trip to Saipan, I think what struck me in my first visit was a lack of, apart from one internationally branded hotel, there was a lack of international brands on the island. And you look to neighboring Guam, where there's a penetration of branded hotels. We certainly see potential for us to bring our brand into market and grow further in Saipan, because there's lots of wonderful facets from the stunning beaches to the golf courses that our guests from all the source markets we've spoken about are keen to explore.
Judiciary courthouses and facilities will be opened back up in the CNMI on a limited basis. The Supreme Court has issued its third order concerning judiciary services due to the COVID-19 pandemic. From May 11th through July 2nd, judiciary courthouses and facilities will be open on a limited basis. The courthouses include Guma Justicia in Susupi, Koti, Tinian, and Centron Justicia on Rota. A release from the Supreme Court states access to these services may be arranged in advance. Supreme Court's actions and matters that are scheduled through July 2nd may be heard telephonically or by video. All jury trials are postponed until after July 2nd. The Supreme Court states bench trials may be heard where practicable. The cashier's office will resume business hours with closure on holidays and austerity Fridays. Appointments may be scheduled by calling 236-9703 or emailing superior.court@nmijudiciary.com. Stay tuned. Coming your way after the break is the weather report.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
And here is your weather report. Today we had a high of 92, a low of 81, 64% humidity. Tomorrow partly cloudy with isolated showers, east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. We have a high of 91 tomorrow, a low of 80. Seas 2 to 3 feet, high tide at 12:49 a.m., low tide at 5:47 p.m. Sunrise is at 5:49 a.m. and sunset at 6:38 p.m. Thank you for watching the KSPN2 News. Have a great and safe rest of your evening.